and works to overturn
sharing of bias.
laws in the court.
What exactly caused this?
To follow the CDC guidelines.
Designed to initially home in on radiation emitted from a target, such as the
I don't think so. But January, all she does is January. She's like,
Jesus will meet us right where we are.
Just one day after the inauguration of Donald Trump as president on January 20th, 2025, a different sort of parade will be taking place in the sky.
for too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost.
7 planets will align that include Venus in the west, Mars in the east, Jupiter and Saturn in the southwestern skies.
Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. Politicians prospered, but the jobs left and the factories closed.
In astrological terms, Jupiter is associated with expansion and growth, while Venus is linked to love. Both Saturn and Mars are considered to be malefic planets, often linked to hardship and war.
The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. And while they celebrated in our nation's capital, there was little to celebrate for struggling families all across our land.
In religious interpretation, unusual celestial events often suggest judgment or renewal, but are almost always viewed as divine intervention.
That all changes starting right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
The planet Mercury will be less visible but will join the festivities as a sign of communication breakdowns, travel disruptions, and technological issues.
Today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people.
From the scientific perspective, the predictable movement of planetary bodies does not indicate either good or bad fortune. With this in mind, 2020 was considered an anomaly, with events like the Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, the closest those two planets had been to each other in 400 years.
What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people.
The Mars opposition also took place and was directly opposite the Sun, making it appear brighter than ever before. 2020 also included 2 planetary parades, Mercury appearing to travel backward, Venus's phase of brilliance, and the Perseid and Geminid meteor showers. The world in 2020 also saw more than its share of NEOs, or near-Earth objects, enough so that space agencies have commissioned the planning and development of missions focused on this very thing.
President Putin had promised changes to the nuclear doctrine weeks ago, a clear signal to Europe and America not to let Ukraine strike Russia with long-range missiles.
The focus this time around will be Russia and the potential for nuclear disaster, as the Doomsday Clock nears 90 seconds to midnight, the closest this symbolic clock has ever been to the witching hour. This time, the global temperature is rising, but has nothing to do with so-called global warming. This is James Anthony, reporting.
Jesus will meet us right where we are.
Thanks for watching this report. Head on over to jamesanthonyreport.com, click the live link in the description, or scan the QR code on your screen right now to support our sponsors.